Hi, and welcome to the Kent Now podcast. I'm Mayor Dana Ralph. In this podcast, you will hear from city leaders, city workers, and engaged residents. We discuss local news, current events, and provide educational and engaging content for the Kent resident who wants to stay plugged into our community. Thanks for listening. Now here are our hosts, Josh Mossberg and Tracy Taylor.
Left the door wide open?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Do you guys hear about the aurora? Apparently there was like something going on with the sun or whatever, so the aurora borealis was like visible across the United States this week. And then but we had too much cloud cover.
Clouds, we never saw it.
Yeah,
Nobody told
but
me.
people in Arizona could see a full aurora borealis.
Stop.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We are in our little incubator over here.
Clearly.
A little thing, you know?
Well,
Is that what we're calling it these
A
days?
thing.
A thing.
An incubator.
well, bang.
Well, dang.
Fantastic.
Thanks, bud.
Thanks, Steve.
I'm going to take your mics away.
You should.
Too late.
Too late.
Welcome back to Kent Now. I'm Josh Mossberg,
I'm Tracy Taylor.
and it is episode 9.
9 is fine.
That's all you got,
And
really?
divine. And kind. Okay.
Kyle's shaking his head.
Okay, we do have a new face and name and voice in the building. Well, not really, because we talked to him.
Well, he was on a previous
He
episode,
was.
right?
So Kevin was last time. Now we've got Kyle. Kyle's officially our executive producer.
Kyle, anything to say?
Not yet.
Okay,
We'll see.
understood.
Maybe at the end of the story. That's the end of the story. Well, anyway, it's episode number 9. We're glad you're back, but I do want to take a moment, Josh, because I did a little research.
A little research.
Yep, mhm. I
This ought to be good.
This,
All right.
Okay. You know what? Stop.
Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I'd like to take a moment to thank our listeners. Ready? They're in Poland. They're in Germany. They're in Canada, Nigeria, the United Kingdom, Brazil, France, Georgia, Texas, Alabama, Arizona, Idaho, and New York.
Just there
And Kent.
and Kent.
And Washington.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Washington. So a big thank
Wow.
you to all of you
Shouts
that
out. Yeah.
listen all around the world. We are world renowned.
World renowned.
I love that for us.
Interesting. How many of those places, though, are also Kent? Kent,
True.
Georgia,
I know there's a Kent in
and Kent, Alabama.
There's-
like Ohio,
And
in the
like-
UK.
Yes,
there's a
in the
Kent,
UK.
UK.
So we do have the Kent UK. Maybe it's Kent UK that was listening to us.
Okay.
But I don't believe there's a Kent, Idaho or a Kent,
eavesdropping?
New York.
Maybe not yet.
Or Brazil, probably not either.
Probably not.
France, no. I wonder if it's like they live here, right? But maybe they're visiting, because I can't see why some.
Well,
Not to disparage
can't-
our
no,
listeners,
see,
but
now
like-
you are. Now you are.
No, I'm not though. I'm just
Now
not
you
sure.
are.
Like, why would the average, French citizen be listening to a podcast
Because
about
we're
a
funny,
municipal government in
because
Washington
we're
State?
Funny. We're funny.
I think it's a VPN.
Kyle, help.
It's a VPN.
A VPN.
I think somebody
Oh,
just
I
like
can
Probably.
see that.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to host it out in France, you know?
Yeah, I could see that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I just wanted to say a big thank you because I'm getting a lot of buzz on our podcast about people listening all over the
We
world.
welcome all new listeners
Thank
to
you.
our glorious podcast. Yes, thank you.
Yes. And you know what else is really fun too, Josh, that just came out in the Seattle Times?
What?
Tacos.
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 And guess what today is? The day
Taco.
we're recording.
Well, the day that yes, what we record
Tuesday.
is Taco Tuesday.
Well, wait.
But
Do we
it's-
tell people? Is the implication that we record the day it comes out?
No.
Okay.
Who has time for that?
I don't know.
Okay, the Seattle Times food writer just came out with the top 30 best tacos in Western Washington. One right here in Kent, Josh.
Have we done a Cuisines of Kent on this
I
place?
don't believe we have.
Okay, and it's the Carnitas Taco at Taqueria La Estrella food truck.
They are
right?
looking for a new lot, though. So
Okay.
maybe we ask them to park it in City Hall's parking lot.
Either that or right outside my apartment would be great as well.
That would work.
So
yeah.
if we could, talk to someone at ECD, get that permit going, that would be great.
We definitely. I mean, you can't go wrong with Kent tacos, I think. And
No.
he said that the best taco is in Burlington. I beg to differ. on
I
that
feel like we're going to have to probably conduct a full investigation.
I agree.
And report back to our listeners.
What do
Perhaps even produce a new cuisines video. We'll talk to Tobias.
What do you like on your taco?
All the things, except people trying to throw tomatoes on there.
What is wrong
Can't do
with
it.
that?
Okay, listen.
No.
I might have talked about this already. I have a thing with tomatoes. I just can't do it. So I do, I like ketchup.
like
I like
salsa.
tomato soup. I like salsa. But the actual, fresh, wet tomato, forget about it.
Salsa
It's
is
over.
wet too,
I can't
though.
do it.
I'm just
But it's
wet
mixed.
tomato.
It's mixed with other things. It's like spiced. Just generic plain tomatoes. No.
you can
Unsubscribe.
spice your you can spice your tomato though. You do know that,
Well-
right? A little salt, maybe some pepper,
I
cayenne
mean, to be
pepper.
fair, I mean, how many vegetables do you just straight munch on without seasoning? I mean, do you do that with a
Carrots.
potato?
That's true.
Or
Okay.
an onion?
Okay.
You just grab an onion
You make
and
a
just
good
eat it like an
point.
apple?
But I feel like, I throw some salt on a potato or
A raw potato?
no, I cook the potato,
Oh.
put it in the oven
Okay.
or something like that. Or, I'm a big fan of like asparagus, broccoli,
For
carrots.
somebody that likes asparagus,
kind of
you
stuff.
don't like tomatoes.
I'm telling you, it's something about the texture maybe and the taste. It's just, I got the anti-tomato gene. I don't know what to say. Like,
It takes a minute for your palate to
okay,
develop.
don't
It's
act
okay.
like there isn't a food that you just can't stand. What is it? There's got to be
Mushrooms.
one, right?
Mushrooms for me.
Mushrooms for you?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
they taste like dirt, so.
Yeah. No,
I don't really think I have one.
really.
I eat all of the vegetables, all of them.
All of the
All of them,
vegetables?
all of the vegetables.
Are you
Somebody said to me,
sure?
yes, I do.
Okay.
And somebody said to me the other day that salsa is a smoothie, and I about lost my mind. I'm like,
No.
wait, are you blending your salsa? Why? What are you
Well,
doing?
People do that, but
Why? You're
definitely
ruining
not
it.
a smoothie. No.
It's so weird.
It's like that one conversation we had the other day.
Yeah.
It was about the what was it about? I'm asking
We have a lot
question.
of conversations
We
throughout
do.
the day.
No, it was like a is this a that kind of thing, but like with sandwiches, right?
Oh.
Is a taco a sandwich? No.
No, it was a hot dog.
Is a hot dog a
yeah,
sandwich?
Is a hot dog a sandwich? No, I don't think
no,
it is.
No, probably not.
No. But
Maybe we should put a poll out.
A hamburger is a sandwich.
Yes.
Okay,
All right.
that's fine.
At least we can agree on that.
We will move on that one too.
Well, speaking of hot dogs, can you get hot dogs at the Shower Center
I believe you can. That and
Okay.
pretzels with
and pretzels?
really good queso.
Awesome. Might have
love
to try
that.
that
Yep.
next time I go see the Seattle Thunderbirds.
I know. Can you believe it? They are now officially into the championship, Western Conference Championship. Tickets are on sale now for their big, I want to say face off. Is that fair? Is
Yeah.
face off? I
They're
think
going to
it's
face off. Who are they facing
face
off
off.
against?
Well,
Oh,
face
that looks like a
off.
fun word to say.
It is.
Kamloops Blazers.
Yes, the Kamloops Blazers. They're
Where?
in,
What is Kamloops? Is that a
is
place?
Canada.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hockey,
Mm.
Canada.
Gotcha.
Kamloops.
I like that word.
Mhm.
Well,
Anyway, tickets are on sale now for their match at 6:05, April 29th at Acesso Showwear Center.
it's going to be a good time.
Hmm.
And they have hot dogs
They do. And beer.
and beer.
Yeah.
Something else going on. Pretty exciting stuff.
Okay.
We are actually going to have one of our staff members on later to talk about a new park.
Yes.
But multiple new parks, right?
Yeah.
So one thing we're super excited about here at the city and that our parks department is very excited about is the newly renovated Salt Air Vista Park. It's been under construction for a little while and super excited to say that there is a full new playground replacement set, new swings, an updated lawn area, new irrigation, some stormwater upgrades,
Nature trails.
nature
I
trails.
love that. And the nature play area, too.
So you can go connect with nature, be zen.
I'm going to bring my blanket
Feel
and
the
my
spirits.
alm with me.
Yes, and just be your best self. You do a meditation out there.
Kyle is worried about you right now. Like he's shaking his head and he can't quite figure out what you're talking
I feel like he says that to me.
often.
He does that no matter what I say.
True.
I'm not mad.
Well, to be fair, throughout my life, everyone I meet does that, but it's okay.
Well, I mean, I've embraced it. I just,
Mm-hmm.
you are who you are.
I'm a free spirit. That's
I
why I'm
love
going to
that
go
about
meditate
you.
at the Salt Air Vista
Okay.
nature area.
Other thing that we've got going on is the Kent Farmers Market. I live for farmers markets during the summertime. Live for them. Like I will drop everything. I'll be like, my girlfriends will like, you want to go have brunch? No, I'm going shopping. Where are you going shopping? The farmers market. It's just the right thing to do, right? Support local businesses.
Love farmers markets.
Yes, they are
Yep.
very, very good. Very, very cool. We've got one that starts up here on June 17th. That's going to be on 2nd Ave between Smith and Gow Street with Living Well Kent and Kent Lions Club and their partnership for the new farmers market. It's going to be every Saturday, again, starting June 17th. What would you grab at the farmers market? If you were to just randomly go, what are you
Yeah.
going to get?
I'd probably go for like one of those mason jars of like honey honey or jam,
Oh.
like, the handcrafted specialty. I don't even know what it means when they say handcrafted, because, like, how do you do that with jam, right?
Who are
But
you, Winnie
they
the
say
Pooh?
that-
What is happening right
No,
now?
I just like to put it on my sandwiches, It's like that.
Okay, you know what that reference is, right?
Yeah, I just
Okay.
walk around with a shirt and no pants.
No,
Like Winnie the Pooh.
no, he loved. Well, I mean, I don't think
Okay,
you've worn
so
pants
my
every time I've seen you. I'm just saying.
To your
I've got a
knowledge,
joke.
yes.
Yes.
Knowledge.
Favorite thing at the farmer's market? I would
Yes.
have to say it's those mason jars with the jam and the jelly. I like to get those, or are artisanal and all that. I like how that sounds. Makes
you're-
me seem quirky. Like, you have to admit, right? You have the option of getting your jam or jelly or whatnot or honey from a farmer's market, or you're going to go to the grocery store. Farmer's market's going to slap. It's going to be much better.
I love that
100%.
one you said slap, because that's like the second time I've heard you say that. And I just now know what you meant when you said that. So I'm like, yes, I'm finally figuring it out.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I feel what?
Hear about your local honey, though, too, from the farmer's market. It's actually good for you for your allergies.
Really?
What?
It's collected from bees that obviously that are around the area that are collecting pollen from all the flowers. So
No
it actually
way.
helps with your allergy defense, too.
How,
Me and Tracy are just looking at each
yeah,
other
we're
like we just
what?
learned
How-
something.
yeah, we totally.
That's crazy.
It can. Yeah.
Kyle, the bee expert.
Are you a beekeeper?
No.
Oh.
Do you want to be?
Just thought it was a fun fact.
Anyway, farmers markets start here every Saturday on June 17th. Thank you for the partnership with Living Well Kent and the Kent Lions Club.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff happening in Kent and around the region. You hear from it from us on
Yeah,
the show,
totally.
on social media, right? But you also hear from it on the news, from the news.
I love
and
that.
Speaking of news,
Oh,
we have a very special guest.
I love it.
We have Zach Anders from Fox 13 Seattle here joining us in the Kent Now studio. Welcome, Zach.
Welcome,
Hello.
Zach.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Can we take a moment, though, really quick, because he's wearing a cougar hat, and I have a little bit of a problem with this, but I'll let it slide because
Well, no, let me stop you right there. I think you're outnumbered. I am also
I know.
Two Cougs to one now.
AWSU Pullman graduate.
I
Go Cougs, by the way.
No, no.
I
Kyle?
think it's a fair. I'm a husky.
Oh, you're a husky.
So,
we're
oh,
even.
it's even.
Okay, even.
Even.
Balance. Right?
Anyway,
I love balance for all of us.
as
I
all
do.
things should be.
Yeah. But Zach, welcome to Kent Now.
Thank you for having me.
Fantastic.
Tell me and the audience a little bit about what it is you do.
So when I was starting out, I was an MMJ, which is you're your own cameraman, and
Okay.
I fortunately am out of Portland and now into Seattle. Better situation. So now I have a camera person that comes with
Nice.
me, and we do stories together. And I think the biggest misconception people have is that there's a lot more time to work on these stories than there actually is. We come in to the meeting at 9 o'clock, and what you see on the 5 o'clock news and now the 4 o'clock news is what we put together in that 9 o'clock meeting. And then we call you guys at different cities or police departments and find out what's happening and schedule interviews and never have lunch and just
A lot of energy drinks probably.
There's a lot, yes.
involved.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
energy drinks consumed in those couple of hours for sure.
Yeah.
So now that you have kind of stepped up from Portland to Seattle, you've got a photog and whatnot. Kind of walk us through what a day to day is for you. You go to the editorial meeting right at 9, you're handed your story. What happens next?
right away it's that panic of, oh my goodness, how am I going to tell this story? Because sometimes it's something as abstract as, hey, we think that trash collection might be delayed because of the weather.
Sure.
And then you're like, okay, well, I know roughly who I could talk to, but at the end of the day, that totally ends up being something entirely different because you get out there and you talk to different people. And so it really just is a frantic, like, couple of phone calls within the first probably half hour from that meeting. And then you'll maybe relay back to your managers what you think the direction of the day might be. Sometimes you'll get something and you're already out the door within 2 minutes, you know, if it's a something that we know for sure we're going to cover. Like, imagine overnight there was some sort of violent crime, you know, we'll be out the door right away.
Is there like an internal competition, like kind of like, you know, when you're in school, you see the first person that finishes their test and you're like, oh crap, like I'm behind, you know? So like someone heads out the door and you're like, oh, they already have it figured out. What am I doing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Okay.
I
Interesting.
mean, it's kind of like you're in your own little world once you do start on your story.
Sure.
I will say that sometimes because we're all tasked with bringing a story to the editorial meeting every day, which is a challenge to like find something that's worth putting on the news at night, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes other reporters will have the same idea you have. And
And
you
then
just
what
have to
happens?
like stare at them like, and I hope you don't get called on first today because I can see it in your eyes. You saw that Facebook post too, or the next door post, and you're
So you guys don't do
competition
like
that
a
way.
thumb war or a rock,
No,
paper, scissors
that's
or anything
not
like
how
that?
that works.
Mm-mm.
No, but it also kind of depends on who your executive producer for the show is, and or your assistant news director or your news director. Some news directors come to the editorial meeting, some don't. Sometimes it's the assistant news director, they come to the meeting and then they make the call. So essentially when you're sitting in that room, they lay
Sounds
it all
like
out.
really anything could happen.
True. It really is.
Okay. Keeps you on your toes, keeps it
Sometimes
exciting.
It feels like it's not necessarily for the reporters needs to even be there. You know, like it's mostly for the producers to know how they're going to format their shows.
Okay.
So the lead story is pretty obvious most days,
True,
I would
yeah.
say.
For sure. So what do you think is like probably the most interesting or just, I don't know, weird story you think you've covered recently? Anything come to mind?
Recently?
Or just ever, I
I was
guess.
in Gig Harbor on Friday, and we were covering a Nerf war that has
Oh,
completely
excuse me?
I'm
enveloped-
sorry. Is it a turf war or a Nerf?
Nerf.
No, as
Maybe
in, like-
both.
Oh, I kind of
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
actually, yeah. Nerf, Nerf.
Like as in
Like
like,
the
the
toy.
toys.
Yeah.
So you have covered a lot in your career, and especially when it comes to government. Now you've worked with different police departments in different municipalities, government, city officials, mayors, deputy mayors, and whatnot. What, in your opinion, makes Kent stand out from everybody else?
The engagement that you guys have with the socials, not only do people recognize the logo now on their social feeds based on the interactions and things like that, but I think that proactive approach has been helpful for us. Like those stories that we cover, a lot of really sad, unfortunate stuff that happens all around in our communities, and right now it feels like there's a lot of that news getting out there. So it seems like municipalities, cities feel like their only responsibility is to step up to the plate when the bad thing happens and to communicate to the public when the bad things are happening. The press release that comes out and says, we're so sorry, this is what happened in our community last night. And that's really all people get to interact with their city governments now is, you know, the bad press releases when there's a lot more good happening in our city. So I've always appreciated anybody that steps up to the plate and actually puts forward something else, you know, anything else.
Yeah, nice to have some good news on your feed instead of just all the
Totally.
other
break.
stuff all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we certainly try to, you know, put as much information out there in a fun way and personable way about our events, programs, services, opportunities in the community. Like, I know we've got some great events coming up at Showware, at
do.
Kent Station. Summer's coming up, our summer concerts, our
Right.
parks, new stuff happening all the time. And, you know, that kind of heavy stuff is going to happen. And I think initially when Kent's social media started kind of deviating, becoming a little more, to some cringy, to others memey, whatever you want to call it, people were asking questions like, you know, oh, our taxpayer dollars are going to this. What is the intent? Like, what's happening here, right? And the way we've always thought about it, which has been supported by our leadership, is that the fact that we can reach more people, have a wider audience, have more just eyes on our content means that when we do have those critical public safety situations, for example, you know, during winter weather, we have a ton of closures. We have perhaps even power going out. We have a way to communicate and to reach our residents and to reach our audiences. And so that's the way we've always conceptualized it. It's really fun, you know, to be able to post our memes or whatnot. But, you know, I think a lot of people can appreciate the fact that we're on top of it when it comes to the good and the bad. So
And it's reaching another generation too. They know where
Absolutely.
to look now.
Yeah.
They see it naturally because they're on these platforms and this is where they live. That's the bread and butter. They're not the Facebook generation anymore, but they're seeing the TikToks and the Instagram reels, and now they know where to look, where their city government is. They know where it exists, right? It's not just this kind of bright light off in the distance that
right,
your
the
parents
smoke
worry
and
about.
mirrors in the
Totally.
dark room, you know, people planning everything.
The one thing I can appreciate, though, about this city's social media accounts is the fact that we give a really good balance of fun and informational and very, very serious. And we can make the informational and serious stuff actually more consumable to younger people who find it difficult. And so I think with having just a multi-generational staff and team here, we all have our different ways of deciphering that kind of information and making it better for our audience.
That's the one kind of bone I have to pick sometimes with news is that we have certain demographics that we know are out there that we want to tell the news to each night. But then there's this whole block of young people who just are not sitting down, to be frank, and watching the 5 o'clock news. There are other ways to reach them, and it's really tough and challenging to find out how to be engaging and, enter into these different platforms and different spaces where they are and try and communicate to them, because that's an entire generation of consumers, voters, a whole future block of millions of people that are not going to be in the what we would have called traditional media streams anymore, and they're probably not going to get older and reroute themselves towards those old mediums. They're not sitting down reading the newspaper anymore, and they're certainly not sitting down and watching a lot of TV over the air.
Well, by the time they get older, the TikTok is going to be what TV is now.
The TikTok.
I mean,
love
it's
that
going to
you
be
just said that.
it's going to the TikTok, the TikTok.
It's going to be an implant. We're all going to be watching. There's going to be
Just
a
the microchip
haze over
something?
your left pupil. And
It's
going to
okay.
be your
It's going to be like a
TikTok feed.
really bad episode of Black Mirror. Or am I dating myself when I say that?
No.
Okay. All right,
No,
that's
Black
good.
Mirror's pretty good. Pretty scary though.
Very scary.
It
You know,
is
it would be
very
nice.
scary.
I personally don't want anything like that, but it would be nice to have like a little HP bar or like a little food. Like it's
No.
like
No,
like
no,
like a heads up display
What are
that I
you,
can
a
just
Sims
walk
character
around.
at this point?
I know. It's like, what
Well,
is-
I just need to know. Like, am I hungry or am I?
You don't know if you're hungry?
So what works to get your story, your message out right now in the media? What is working for you?
That's a good question. So I just went over. I lived over in London for a while and was doing some other education over there, and it was very interesting to see how not only the British and their funny, non-commercial TV news, right? They have 24 hours of nonstop programming, no commercials, and
Wow.
That's crazy.
I'm thinking
That
about that.
sounds
going,
like a lot of work.
Yeah, that's too much work.
Wow.
yeah. Well, I would present them like my American stories, and they would be like, "Why is it so fast? Why did you just scream all that information at me?" I'm like, "What do you mean? We've got 90 seconds and then commercial." And they're like, "This is the BBC, friend. You can take all the time you want." And that does kind of permeate into the other platforms a little bit. I feel like the rest of the world isn't, well, the rest of some of the other audiences in Europe aren't obsessed with like fast content. They do appreciate longer form pieces, and the social platforms that they're trying to post these on are kind of constraining that. But there's a lot more storytelling that takes place over, rather than seconds, minutes, which I appreciate. And I think that is going to be what works for me going forward. That's what I'm going to focus on. But there's a lot, that does work. You can hit just certain buzzwords really when you put into the captions now, and that will put your video up higher than the rest.
Sure.
And it doesn't even matter what the content or quality of your video was. It's all about search engine optimization.
Is that hashtag FYP and then
Yes.
that little Japanese character? It's like the smiley
Is
face.
that what that is?
Yeah, it's like some.
Drives me nuts.
Yeah,
Honest.
I like the smiley face though.
Spend days
It's a cool
putting
one.
together a video, and you're like, all right, hit post, and somebody just
And you get
filmed on their phone for 10 seconds.
Well, it's almost
get
kind of
2
like what's
views.
going on with Twitter right now.
Right.
Right? Like, because now everyone that has a blue check mark and paid for that is just shooting up to the replies on every tweet, regardless of the content or the size of the account. So you have to like scroll past like 5 or 6 blue checks that sometimes are just not even related to the tweet it's
Right.
replied to see actual replies. So
well, you'd want to talk about how dangerous that is.
Yeah.
yeah,
The fact that the verification system's all broken now, and cities and any government agency that needs to get information out in a timely emergency-like manner is now could be flooded with. I mean,
Right.
we've already seen it.
Oh,
yeah,
no, totally.
I mean, just the like, it's going to be difficult for people to distinguish what is authentic and legitimate as their government or their response. I know we lost our blue check mark. Weren't about to pay for that, by the way. Want to make that clear. But we applied for the gray check mark. Took like a week. We complained a little bit on Twitter. A bunch of other government agencies came in to support us. We had DOT, DNR.
They don't even have theirs
They
yet.
didn't get theirs.
No.
Yeah, but we got lucky, I guess. And so we got our gray check and we got a square profile picture now, I guess. So that's...
I never got a blue
Love
check
that.
anyway.
Oh,
so
you didn't?
Yeah, I wasn't really that into it, I guess.
I felt like I lost my credibility when I lost my blue check mark on
There's a
mine.
little piece of you
Yeah,
goes away,
it does
doesn't
go away.
Yeah.
That's okay. The thing is people know who they can trust and who they can't trust. We really appreciate you coming down and being a part of the podcast. Thank you again for your insight. Thank you for your intel. And most importantly, thank you for being transparent about not only as
absolutely.
a journalist, but also about just what it takes, not only for your job, but what I think us as a municipality needs to do to make life a little bit easier for journalists too. So
Yeah,
thank you.
absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, most importantly, go Cougs. Thanks, Zach, for being here.
Oh, jeez.
All right, so another great event coming up is the Kent Museum Welcoming Figure Dedication, Tracy.
Yeah.
There is a bit of a misconception about Native culture that I'm going to clear up that directly ties into this.
Okay.
Right? A lot of people assume that throughout the world, throughout North America, all Native tribes would make those totems, right?
Right.
But those are actually more associated with Alaskan tribes.
Okay.
And so here in this area, Washington State, the traditional land of the Muckleshoot Duwamish people, they actually did welcoming figures. And we have a member of one of those tribes, Mike Evans. He's actually the honorable chair of the Snohomish Tribe of Indians, father of the Blue Heron Canoe family, and the vice president of the Greater Kent Historical Society.
I love that.
He is carving a welcoming figure, and he's going to put it at the Kent Historical Museum grounds. The event to dedicate that and to just as an opportunity to check out the museum is going to be on April 29th at 1 p.m. And
There's a really good video that's up on our Facebook page right now of how he
Yes.
started this too. So if you want to see the video, and he kind of goes into a really good explanation of what it is and what to expect when you come for the event, and go check it out now. It's on our videos. If you go to our videos on Facebook.com, we were just talking about Showwear Center, Josh, and we were talking about the Seattle Thunderbirds, but there are some really, really fun events that are going to be happening at Acesso Showwear Center here in the next couple of weeks. One, don't forget to get your tickets for the Thunderbirds. I'm going to say that one more time because this is like a big deal with them being in the Western Conference Championship right now.
Big deal.
It is. And the tickets, we want to just make sure that we rock that house. But we also want to make sure that we grab our tickets for Gary Allen. Country music fans love this guy. He's got that raspy country sound. If you love old time country music, Gary Allen's
hanging
one.
out on your tractor with some iced tea
Stop.
type
Yes.
beat.
No, we're not talking about
Oh.
Jason Aldean. We're talking about Gary Allen. Jason Aldean sings a song about tractors. So
Okay.
does Kenny Chesney. But I'm just
You know,
saying.
when I think country, I
think
just think
most.
they're all tractor songs.
No,
but
they're not all tractor songs. I would say about 96% of them are tractor songs.
Okay.
Gary Allen does not have a tractor song. He does, however, have a lot of tearsy songs.
Gotcha.
Talks about a lot of crying.
Okay.
There's the International Festival that's happening June 3rd, Jurassic World Live Tour.
Sorry, what?
Jurassic World Live Tour.
Tell me more
Yes,
immediately.
I know. The dinosaurs, if you love Jurassic Park, you will love the Jurassic World Live Tour June 9th through the 11th at Acesso Showwear Center.
What exactly is that?
It's like big replica dinosaurs.
No way.
Yes.
They're bringing animatronic dinosaurs to
I
the
don't know
Showwear
if they're
Center.
animatronic, but I
Okay.
would say I saw
They're not live.
No.
I
Sure
hope.
hope they're animatronic.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I've
Sounds
seen a
dangerous.
couple movies.
There's like
That's,
Godzilla, right? That,
I don't know if
Yeah.
we have the right insurance for that.
Probably not.
Probably not. Anyway, yeah, get your tickets now. Go to Acesso Showwear Center's website.
Quick question though.
Sure.
Do you think like if we dropped a T-Rex in the Acesso Showwear Center, do you think you could get out? It's a good question, right?
It's got
Like,
short
You know,
arms, can't
I
open the
mean-
doors.
but does it need to open? I feel like a T-Rex isn't really going to try to walk through a door.
No.
You know, it's more like, can it like break through the walls?
Yeah.
Can it?
Have you not watched any
What are they
of the
made
Jurassic-
of though? What are they made? Like, what are the walls made of? Does
Meat.
that matter?
Oh, the
No,
walls?
it never.
The
No,
walls?
nothing.
Yeah, well,
walls
the
aren't made of
T-Rex
meat.
is made of meat, but
T-Rex is made of meat and bones for sure.
True. No, while they can break through anything. I mean, they create craters, right? they create
What?
craters.
Create craters.
Yeah.
T-Rexes.
Yeah, like they do, right? If they
T-Rex
fall-
is the
if they-
notorious
but they're-
crater creators.
But I'm just saying, if he falls down, he's big, right?
Oh, you mean
and so
because
he
of his
weighs. Yeah, because he's a large dude.
Yeah, okay, I see what
It's a
you're
large
saying.
dude.
Yeah.
Well, they definitely wouldn't use their little arms to like dig out from under it, like prison escape style. So I guess they'd have to
True.
just like use their head to bash through the walls. They could probably do it.
I'm
That's
gonna.
what you're saying?
Yes.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Okay.
Okay. Tweety Town is happening at Kent Station. There are decorated birdhouses that are going to be on display. You can vote on your favorite.
Tweety Town.
Tweety Town. I love that. If you're a bird aficionado, then go check it out. There you have them on display near Daiso. And we're going to team up to clean up one more time. Josh,
So much teaming up and so much cleaning up. We love doing this here.
we like to talk trash too. So
We do like to talk trash.
9 a.m. to noon, graffiti cleanup each spring and fall. The Kent team up to clean up community-wide day of service. Why can't I say that? Team up to clean up.
Ding, ding, clean up.
Ting, 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 ting.
Bushmouth.
Team up to clean up on May 6th. I know, 9 a.m.
We
to
love to team up and clean up
Yeah,
here,
we-
don't we, Tracy?
noon. We do.
And we like to do what else?
We like to pick up trash and clean up graffiti.
And talk trash.
And of course, talk trash. You talk more trash than I do, though.
Debatable. Kyle, what do you think?
Again, balance.
As all things
Fair.
should be.
Yep.
Good answer.
All the time. Community-wide day of service, Beautify Kent, individuals, schools, businesses, social groups come together. They remove litter and graffiti at various locations around the city. If you want to form a team or sign up, you can go now to kentwa.gov/talkingtrash. Team up to clean up.
And it's true to its name because this year our public works and police departments are teaming up. It used to be a graffiti event, used to be a trash pickup event, but they have truly teamed up and is now a cleanup
I love that.
group thing.
I wish people could see what you do.
I was doing good hand motions.
You were doing the
Like
yes.
two things, fingers interlocking, they have become one.
Yeah.
Really excited about that.
Okay.
All right.
And Quinn.
So next, we also have a great event. This July, we have our Kent Cornucopia Days
Mm-hmm.
coming back. I think back in the day, this was actually what was the Lettuce Festival. Have you heard of this?
No.
It's a fun fact. So Kent, at one point in the past, was the lettuce capital of the world.
Oh.
Right? Also, at one point, was the hops capital of the West.
Stop. For a
Pretty-
beer aficionado like
Yep.
myself, I'm kind of
You should know
intrigued.
that. The Lettuce Festival eventually became Cornucopia Days. I don't know how or why that happened, probably because we stopped making as much lettuce, less farming.
Okay.
But anyway, it is a super fun festival, parade. There's going to be places to eat,
Mm-hmm.
face painting, cool little performances.
Right.
It's going to be all around downtown Kent. It's all going to be happening July 14th, 15th, and 16th.
Mm-hmm.
And on the 15th, there's going to be a 5K run or walk. And that's really exciting.
Thank you for making sure that we all understood you can walk to
Well,
it.
we want to be inclusive.
Of course.
You get your cool outfit, you
Right.
get your cool number,
Mm-hmm.
take the photo finish, people, friends, and family cheering you on. It's a
Love
great
it.
time.
Yeah. And the thing is this year's shirt has already been unveiled and it's very retro.
Oh,
It's very cool.
I'm excited to see
Yeah.
it.
I'm also excited because I love a good rodeo, Josh. I do.
It sounds like you are really into tractors and country, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it kind of goes. Yeah, it kind of fits hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
Or as one of my friends would say, that tracks.
Oh, badum. Right, Kyle? We're gonna get those at some point. Don't worry about it,
Badum.
listeners.
Oh,
we'll
I
have
was
that.
like, what happened just now?
That
I'm
was
like,
that was my sound effect.
I love-
but I
well,
did it slowly
yeah.
so that it was like. Anyway,
I thought it was funny. Did it fit? Did it work?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yes.
I tried. I kind of tried. Anyway, the Kent Community Bike Rodeo, May 20th from 10 to 1. Fun, interactive, non-competitive skills course designed for kids to improve their bike handling and traffic safety skills. Perfect from the former traffic reporter. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. Yep. I love it.
comes
And
well recommended.
It does. And I was there last year. I'm excited to go again this year. And Kent PD is always on hand with their bike team to help out. And so it's very, very cool. We've got all the info about the bike rodeo right now at kentwa.gov. Now that we've talked about bike rodeos, we have to talk about our pets.
I love pets.
I know you do. You have
But so
two.
do you. You love pets
I
too.
do because I have 4 dogs.
That's a lot.
It was way too many.
But they're all small dogs. They're wiener dogs. So,
Okay.
I mean, I have 4 wiener dogs at home.
I'm not going to out you to our listeners about all your wiener dog swag at your
Right.
office.
Yep.
It's only completely covered in small dogs.
Yes.
So I guess I will be outing you.
You just
But
did. Thank you. Yeah, but
Tell us about the Pet Fest.
I'm very excited about this because there's a lot of hard work behind the scenes with Kent Station as we're partnering with them, also with RASC, the Regional Animal Services of King County, for a licensing event. Kent Station, this is going to happen on June 3rd from noon to 3. It's a fun-filled furry event for cats, dogs, and critters. We've got a dog.
Critters.
Critters. Yes.
What is a critter?
Well, you've got bunnies. There's lizards. We have lizards.
Can you get
Bearded
your lizard
dragons.
licensed?
I believe you have to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you're going to have to get your pet licensed. It's a pet, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
It's good to do that,
It
by the way,
is.
because, if your lizard ever scurries off,
It's
or
happened.
your cat climbs up a tree, you don't know where it went, someone finds it, get them licensed. Maybe they got a collar, their name, a phone number to call. Maybe they're chipped. Can you track them? Is
You
that what
can.
the chips do?
Yeah.
I have 2 cats, by the way,
Right.
to our listeners.
Mhm.
But they're not chipped. I need to maybe consider doing that.
I think you should do that. I also think you should probably bathe them and give them a good clipping
Okay.
before
Well-
our event on June 3rd.
Well, I actually have a bit of a story for you.
Oh, I love this.
So this
Hang
weekend.
on, let me grab my popcorn.
Okay. This weekend, I decided that Sundays were going to be my kitty maintenance days, my kitty cleanup days, if you will.
Every Sunday?
Every Sunday,
Okay.
or well, maybe we'll start with every other Sunday
Okay,
and kind of
that's-
see what's needed,
All
right?
right,
But
Baby steps.
the hair, like any people listening that have cats, cat hair, obviously a big problem, right?
Right.
I have been bordering on a mental breakdown
Why?
by the amount of hair on
Oh.
everything.
Okay.
And so, I got my lint rollers, do that. I have my pet
Hair
dryer
vacuum.
sheet
Yep.
things that
Mhm.
I guess are supposed to help that kind of don't, but it's the thought. And so this weekend I was like, it's time to brush and we're going to bathe.
Oh.
All right. So one of my cats' name is Ginger. The other one's name is Gracie.
Oh, I was waiting for you
at-
to say Mary Ann.
Gracie is fine being brushed. I got the Furminator.
Oh.
Came highly recommended,
on.
like this
A
brush on Amazon.
Furminator?
Yeah, that's what it's called. It's like this.
I've got one of those too.
Yeah, it's like
for our
this
dogs.
deep brush that just gets that off.
Takes out the undercoat.
Yeah.
Oh.
You never heard of this?
No.
It's an underbrush.
Yeah.
That's
The Furinator.
It's just like that next level
scares
that a
me.
normal brush can't do, right?
okay.
Gracie's fine with it. Ginger, though, definitely the most vocal cat I've ever heard. She is basically screaming bloody murder the second I
Wow.
make any indication that it's time to be brushed or bathed. It's all hell breaks loose.
She is running.
Yeah, she's running. And it's just, she's one of those cats that thinks she owns you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that
yeah.
she's super demandy.
Totally.
Every day when I get up to get ready for work, first thing that happens is she jumps on the bed and starts demanding to be fed. We're having a full on conversation at this point, right?
Sounds like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wants
to be fed.
sometimes she asks outside time, something like that.
I do that too.
You do that too.
I
Who do you ask for your outside time?
Myself.
Okay.
Just whining the whole time.
I am all the time.
Fair enough. But it was quite the ordeal. They were a bit smelly before.
Mhm.
I mean, okay, and I want to be clear that it's not like this is the first time I've bathed them ever. It's just been a few weeks.
Mm.
But so I did that, right? And then after I brushed them again, and there was still a bunch of hair coming off. So kind of no end in sight. So now I'm very much considering shaving
That's good.
a few inches off.
Lions
taking them
cuts
in.
are very, very much recommended during the summertime for
Okay.
sure. Get 'em-
Probably going to have to do that
Yep.
because, yeah.
It's a lot of hair.
Well,
Anyway,
I'm more impressed you didn't get the bejesus scratched out of you.
No, she's not really a violent scratcher. Once in a while she'll hiss, but she never actually tries to hurt me or anything.
fun
like that.
fact:
So
she's plotting your death right now.
I'm sure she has it planned out.
I'm almost positive.
Yeah.
Almost positive. Anyway, get your cats and dogs groomed up and ready to go. We've got really a lot of fun planned for Paw Fest. June 3rd, Kent Station from noon to 3. Dog trainers, dog agility courses, and demonstrations. We are going to have pup cups. We are going to have a pet costume contest and a pet parade. So
So break out the outfits
absolutely.
if they can handle it. Get them all dressed up. It's gonna be a great
I
time.
believe one of our coworkers is bringing his weird-looking lion cat as well on a leash.
Oh yes, the Maine Coon.
Is that what it's called?
I think it's called that, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are some big cats.
It's like a 30-pound cat.
So essentially, we're having a cougar come to the thing. Okay.
Little bobcat.
Got it.
Yep. Little
All right. Well, looking forward to that Paw Fest. All right.
Can be a good time.
Let's get into some new parks, though, Josh. I
New
know.
park alert.
I'm so excited because why? You want to know why?
Tell me.
There's space involved.
Love space.
I do love
the
space.
not the final.
No.
The final
Yeah. Oops.
the final frontier.
I love it. It works.
It works.
I even like the from. That's fine too.
Yeah,
we
that
can go,
works.
Yeah, we'll go
Why
with
not?
that as well.
We don't know what's out there.
No, we don't. But
we're learning.
But we do know who's in the room with us right now. It's Michelle Wilmot from our Economic and Community Development. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, space, parks, Kherson Park. Tell us a little bit about Space for Kids at Kherson.
Okay. Space for Kids at Kherson Park is going to be the very first municipal park in the country to offer augmented reality.
Okay,
Wow.
augmented reality.
That sounds kind of
It
cool.
does kind of sound kind of cool. So, what is augmented reality for people that don't know what that is?
It's like a tool that helps you augment your imagination to like make it bigger than you can already imagine.
Oh,
Like
Whoa.
it's you could pretend you're shooting a rocket off from mission control.
what?
You could pretend you're riding the lunar rover in the park.
I love it.
You can learn about the lunar rover. You could learn about NASA. You could learn like what spacesuits are made of.
Well, that sounds super cool. How are people going to go about doing that? Like, what is involved in actually, getting that augmented reality at Kherson Park?
Well, we have a company called Prime Studios, not to be confused with Amazon Prime. It is a company that specializes in virtual and augmented reality applications.
Okay.
So this will be a free app that people can download onto their phones and experience all of these out of this world activities at this park.
Love that. And so the park itself, right? So we touched on kind of like the big, shiny, awesome part of the park, right?
Sure.
But the park itself, just without the augmented reality too, is going to be really, really cool. It's nothing like we have here yet, right? Michelle, could you tell us a little bit about like what's actually at the park?
Yes, it is beyond cool. I was just there this morning experimenting with all of the fun things that there are to do. So there is a life-size interactive lunar rover replica that you can actually sit on, and it is as close to real life as can be while still withstanding life in a public space. What's really cool about this lunar rover is that it was modeled off of the originals that were built by the Boeing Company here in Kent over 50 years ago. But we have local Boeing retirees that actually worked on the original lunar rovers that actually helped us build these.
Really?
Wow.
Really comes
super
full
cool.
circle, doesn't
It
it?
really does.
That's
I
so
love that.
cool.
So, are they going to be on hand possibly to welcome in this beautiful new park?
They absolutely are. They are super excited about it already. They're planning to be in attendance.
I
They're
lo-
bringing their grandkids.
Oh,
Nice.
See, it really does come full circle. So again, the new park, Space for Kids at Kherson Park, is grand opening is May 20th here in downtown Kent. I know that we've got a fun-filled day for that whole grand opening, correct?
Yes, we
Wonderful.
are planning. So it starts at 10:30,
Okay.
but we're anticipating it's going to go till about noon. But
Okay.
people can stay all day long and play and experience the park because there's more than just a lunar rover. There is a lunar landing module, which you can go inside.
Oh.
There is a mission control panel where you can pretend to launch a rocket. It also has some fun features where it's like the Simon game using the mission control.
Okay.
And you can even talk from the mission control panel to the people inside the lunar lander, just
Oh,
like they did on the
I
moon.
can see it already.
It's like
The kids out
walkie-talkie.
there, they're going to
Yes, a
be
walkie-talkie.
on a whole mission, exploring, talking to each other, planning, strategizing.
Love it.
It's going to be really cool. Going to be a prime influencer spot, I'm sure.
Totally.
To get those Instagram selfies.
I think that people need to know the why we're doing this
Sure.
space theme park.
Yeah.
Because
Tell us.
We in Kent have a lot of space jobs that are still happening today. Just because Boeing opened its space center, which is still in existence today, in 1965, we still have a huge amount of space work, space jobs, space innovations occurring here in our community. And most people don't even know about it. It's so secret squirrely. You drive down our valley, out on West Valley, you see these giant buildings and you have no idea what's going on inside. And we are making really cool, out of this world stuff in Kent. In fact, we have over half of the jobs in Washington State space sector are here in our community. Over half, like
Wow.
13,000 people working in space. And it doesn't mean you have to be an astronaut. You could be working in HR at a space company. You could be doing 3D printing. You can do all kinds of interesting, really cool, highly advanced manufacturing in some of these companies. But it not only is it really cool jobs, but it is a humongous driver to our economy. And we want Kent kids to know that there's amazing opportunities at amazing companies right here in their backyard. So we want to inspire kids at a young age to know that, hey, it shouldn't be unheard of to get a gig in space here in Kent. It's been happening for over 50 years, and it can happen for the next 50. So that's part of the rhyme and reason to why this space park is so very cool.
So Boeing has a lot to do with this. And you had mentioned that, you know, there was a lot of incorporation and collaboration when it comes to this. But what else is Boeing doing?
Boeing has weighed in on the support for what we've tried to do with the lunar rovers and getting them named historic landmarks. We have 3 lunar rovers on the moon that were built by Boeing here in Kent that are designated as state historic landmarks. And they have been hugely supportive of that. They also are hiring leaps and bounds in our community. And they also need lots of people to work for them. And they are also very much involved in the space race. In fact, they're looking at being part of the new space station development as the current one is being decommissioned. But they actually are partnering with us and have sponsored to help us build this app. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the wherewithal to be able to get an app like this developed.
Sure. Well, we should mention, Josh, Michelle brought us some really cool toys. I know that nobody can see them, but we can definitely give you the ASMR and the space stuff. Will fun little tchotchkes be provided?
Tchotchke?
Yeah. It's
What?
like, isn't it a tchotchke? It's a pen.
What is that?
You don't know what a tchotchke is?
No.
It's just a little small takeaway. They're like a little small.
Like a knick-knack.
Yes.
Okay.
That's my old speaking when I say
I
tchotchke.
never heard of that.
Okay.
A small object that is decorative rather than strictly functional.
Have you heard of it?
No, I just now.
Okay.
I mean, I've heard of Chotsky for sure.
there we
but,
go.
I mean,
So
We
excited.
have actual mission patches. You know how every astronaut that goes to space gets a mission patch?
Yeah.
We are going to have mission patches.
I love that.
We're only ordering 300, so they're bound to be a collector's item.
That's a really cool
Very
idea.
nice.
I feel like we should have more mission patches for just general stuff. Like, you know, Saturday when I wake up in the morning, if
Sure.
I stayed up really late the night before, I should get a patch for getting out of bed before noon. Probably.
I'll look into that
What
for
do you
you.
think?
Yeah,
Yeah. Or like if I manage to you know, go to the grocery store, get some grocery items instead of just doing like a DoorDash or
Sure.
Instacart.
I'll make a
I
patch.
got a patch for that.
I'll make a patch for you, and it'll be called adulting.
Okay.
There you
Let's go.
All
Let's
too
do
many
it.
patches. Just one.
It's like being a Boy Scout all over again,
Just
right?
one big patch.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, no,
thank
I'm
you.
super into that.
Yeah. Thank you again, Michelle, for being a guest on the podcast today, talking a little bit more about Carison Park. We are excited about this. The grand opening on May 20th, downtown Kent. You will find more information on all of our social platforms, and make sure that you check it out if you're going to be traveling through the downtown corridor. Thanks, Michelle.
Thanks for having me.
Alrighty, that's all we have for you today on the 9th episode of Kent Now. Join us next week for
Next week?
double digits.
How about 2 weeks?
How about 2 weeks?
Yeah.
See us in 2 weeks,
Yep.
and we're going to hit double digits. We're going to do something very special. I'm just making that up now,
Thank
looking
you.
at Tracy.
Thank you.
So get ready. It's going to be great. Join us.
Start
Don't
planning.
forget, you can check out all of these events and our programs,
Can't wait.
services, great stuff on our
you gonna
social
do?
media
How
at
does
City
it
of
happen?
Kent. See you next week.
Bye.